Hey! Hey! Couché! I see. Papa Shay.
I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MCs should call me sire. To run my kingdom, you must see fire. I won't stop rocking till I retire.
Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm.
Wow.
And the music was good and the music was loud.
Dude, that intro's dope.
Are you still using the boom boom?
Dude, that intro is dope, man.
I know, right? Right.
I like that.
Dude, that was Alonzo, man. That was my boy right there.
Yeah, we need an updated one though. We need a turn.
That part, you know,
Yeah.
that's over 10 years ago.
And the thing about that is you got to be careful with that that music because it might get hit copyright. And if you're trying to monetize your streams, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
What's going on with you, man?
everything, man. You and I shot yesterday.
Yeah, we pivoted. We was posted people. First of all, thanks for tuning in for this. My voice sounds like shit, but I still look good. But thanks for tuning in today. Yesterday was a double-edged sword. You know, we're currently still having wildfires, and them motherfucking fires are wild right now.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's not even hitting the wildlife; it's hitting suburbia, and
Tearing it up.
Yeah, really ripping it up. And we were supposed to be going to this annual, maybe biannual, but I know for the first time, first of 2025, we're supposed to be going to a Frenchie's. It's called Only Frenchie Show. We've been prepping for this shit for like months. I was gonna ask those Maury Povich type questions. Because there's so much, it's almost like, you know, when you are, you know, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, they had this thing called the pyramid game, and you put like $500, you get to move up on the board, you bring 3 more people underneath, you get to move up higher, and then whoever gets to the top
Right.
gets all the money.
Right.
So I hear all these words about I'm making money, and I sold a Frenchie for $20,000 to Lady Gaga's cousins, sisters, brothers, housekeepers, bartender, and show me the money.
Right.
Because you're just talking, right?
Right. Exactly.
That didn't happen yesterday. We couldn't go and ask those questions. So we went over to South Bay Malinois. We went and got with Psyche, S-I-K-E. And we did some footage. We asked some good questions. We got some good content for entertaining purposes, but informative, but it's also enlightening. But today is a little different, right, Miles?
Yeah.
And we want to talk about certain things that are really it's touching to me because I'm 53. I'll be 54 in about 8 months and 2 weeks, maybe. Who knows, right? I mean, if you think about it, I'm already 54. If you think about the time of conception till I'm born,
Right.
10 months.
Yeah.
And I've had a few friends of mine, and I don't use that word loosely. Trust me, I don't. But I had a few friends of mine that have experienced up close and personal fire losses from this fire.
Mm.
And my prayers go out to them. And the most important thing that they didn't lose their life, right? And I'm pretty shocked that from most of everybody I've spoken to who have been involved with this, they didn't have no kind of insurance,
Mm.
no renter's insurance, no business insurance, no liability insurance. And if they were homeowners, they barely had homeowners insurance.
If they're renting, how are people renting spots out without having renter's insurance? Ever since I've rented in LA, like through a reputable organization, you've needed renter's insurance.
Well, without getting too much in my personal business, I'm a landlord too, right? And under state law, you can't require them, but you can make it a requirement for you to rent to them. Like, yo, you got to have renter's insurance to rent for me.
Right. That's what they're doing.
Right. But I recommend people to get renter's insurance, and I tell them from experience, hey, you don't want to spend the $250 a year, no big deal. But I highly recommend it because it's an something.
That's it. $250 a year,
maybe $300, bro.
Dude, I'm spending way more than that.
But you know, it's all about what you add in coverage. Like if you had renter's insurance and you want to add your, just say you had one, a Rolex watch, then there's a floater.
Right.
That's an additional cost because jury standard policies have a cap, and they will pay like $1,500 for jury, but your watch is worth 15 grand.
Right.
So you pay for a floater. Let's say you want to increase your personal property up to 100 grand versus the standard 25 to 50. Then your premium increase, but you're not still talking about $1,000 a year. You're not talking about $800 a year. I've seen six-figure coverages at $650 a year. Personally. And a lot of renters think that, oh, if something happens to my stuff, my landlord's going to pay for it. No, the fuck you won't.
Hell no. Why would they do that?
Right. It's amazing. It's like, wait a minute. You're not part of their family. You're not named on the policy. Therefore, none of your shit's covered.
Yeah, they can't do nothing about it, right?
Nothing. The crazy part about renter's insurance is that people don't realize how much they cover as far as the different coverages. Like, my friend didn't know that having renter's insurance pay for living expense. So let's say when your place burned down, you need a place to stay for 6 months, maybe a year. Renter's insurance up to your policy limit will pay for, it's called ALE, additional living expense.
Mm-hmm.
They will either direct pay or they'll pay you to live in temporary housing. Try to find temporary housing here in LA.
Right.
Ain't nobody doing that. They're making
No.
you sign long-term lease, bro.
Right, exactly. So when it comes, you know, I asked Gerald a lot of questions yesterday, but like, basically, do you know who started the fires? Like, is there somebody that they can pin this on? Because one of the things that I saw on social media was, what happens if they find out that it was an arson and then insurance companies don't want to pay because it's not an act of God anymore? Like, they can pin it on somebody. What happens in that situation?
Well, number one, you have a list of perils, PERILS, perils. So let me type that in so people will know. Okay. You have perils. Perils are the causes of loss. Policies, usually standard policies, usually have water, fire, theft, vandalism, and those about the major four. It's maybe a fifth one, okay? So let's say a person, I'll give you an example. If you drove your car right now, you're fully insured in that Tesla, right?
Yeah.
You go out and you go have a couple of Coronas. a couple of cervezas, and you rear in somebody, and the kid goes through the windshield. Guess what? Your insurance company is still going to pay for it because they pay for stupidity. Now they're going to drop your ass after that, but they pay for it. It's an accident. So to answer your question about arson, whether it's crime or not, insurance companies are going to indemnify the claim. They're going to pay for it. Now, what they're going to do, what I've seen done several times, is that they will pay the quantified amount that is necessary. In this case, let's say Altadena. Average home is probably worth $1 million. They probably have $700,000 worth of property damage coverage. Because remember, insurance companies don't pay for land. They don't pay for dirt.
Okay.
They pay for the structure.
Right. Okay.
So they would probably just do an assessment, and it would give the insured the max. So here's your 700 grand, deal with it. And the contents, they probably got 100 grand, 200 grand for contents. Here's your max, deal with it. Once they indemnified, means paid the claim or the loss, they submit their claim to the district attorney. And they said it, so the district attorney knows that if anybody, any person or persons get arrested and convicted, that dollar amount gets added to the restitution. Now,
What they need to get from that person.
once, restitution is usually a fee or a balance that a criminal that's been convicted owes to pay the people who suffered the damages.
Right.
The likelihood of recovering from that is 0.
Right. Exactly.
But most insurance companies, through their subrogation, let me turn this other thing off. Hold on.
Okay. It's actually really interesting because I didn't know the whole process of how it flows. And I mean, it's nice to know how this stuff goes down.
Yeah. So there's a division for every insurance company in the United States called subrogation. Subrogation is basically a collection agency, the in-house collection agency. It's usually comprised of subrogationists and lawyers. And it's their job. So let's say this kid who lit that thing on fire, his girlfriend fucked with him. He's a rich kid. They're going to do an asset check. So subrogation do their due diligence on figuring out, do they have assets? And that is the process. Again, in this particular loss, if it says one person that did it, he better be Jeff fucking Bezos
Right.
for them to even think about they're going to get juice from a turnip.
Right. Exactly.
So they pay for arson. Yes, they will not pay for arson if the insured burned his own shit down. But if Miles want to come to my house and burn my shit up, and I'm not a part of that, they're going to pay for it, but they're going to go after you.
Right. Makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Is this something, I mean, this is huge. Like, is this something, I mean, is it going to bankrupt some companies? Like because this is massive. Like, I don't know if there's any other parts of the country that things like this happen, or if it's mainly like a Southern California thing, but it just happens all the time. And will some companies go under and they'll maybe not do business over here anymore? Like what's gonna happen to the property values because they can't get insured over there?
Let me write some notes down because that's some good pointers.
It all
To
flows
answer your-
into each other. You know what I mean?
Right. To answer a question about companies going under.
Yeah.
Okay. So insurance companies have this this agreement where if an insurance company becomes solvent during
Right.
a major loss, then the state pays the difference.
Oh,
So
it covers the rest.
Right. So the so the insured, because we are the insured, the insurance companies are the insurers.
Right.
So we're going to be made whole regardless. Now, to answer your other question, I own a property in Long Beach. Okay.
Right.
And State Farm sent me a letter. One of my agents, Lisa Brown, good people. Shout out to Lisa. She let me know ahead of time that they're gonna non-renew me. I'm like, for what? Everything that I've had, I didn't put a loss in because I know they cut a motherfucker off, right? It's like $3,000 a year for this property, right? Which is relatively cheap. She said, no, we're not renewing policies on commercial buildings. So State Farm has pulled out of California for commercial buildings, but not homeowners. However, they lost a A rating last year and they may pull out of California in general. But I saw that TikTok guy and he was right, but then he was wrong about something. He said that, can you imagine having insurance today and then tomorrow they say you don't have insurance before the fire or after the fire? It doesn't work that way, homie. Insurance companies will send you a non-renewal when it's time to renew your insurance.
Exactly.
But they're not going to fucking drop you.
Right, exactly.
No, we got a contract.
Right, exactly.
We got a 1-year contract. I paid it.
Right.
So that's total bullshit. And that's the difference between, no disrespect, that's the difference between my mother's generation, your mother, and my generation and your generation. See, my mother's generation got the news from the newspaper. I get the news from TV, CNN, and Fox and whatever. The Gen Zs get their news from social media.
Same with my generation.
Huh?
It's my generation. We don't watch the TV.
Yeah, you gotta get your news from social media.
Exactly.
And when you do that, it can get real skewed real quick by a couple of words.
But it's still skewed on CNN and Fox and all that. So it's like they're
that's
not
true.
Really, they've been caught red-handed so many times. It's not any better. It's just more polished. Sorry. It's it's more polished lie.
I agree. There's a lot of they have to do a lot of corrections a lot of times. So, well, we made a mistake on this day. Yeah, exactly. I get that.
Liars.
So I get that, but no, one of the misnomers about insurance companies throughout, and I will tell you guys a little bit of my history with insurance companies, is that they won't drop you a day after a loss. They won't drop you right before it happens. Right. They have to give you notice to shop your shit around and get somebody else.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that is a people don't have to worry about. Now, the spinoff of that is like, I'm not so deep in this game where I don't see how this is going. Like, everybody who is getting canceled has one or two options to go to. One of the options is called California Fair Plan. Now, you don't know who California Fair Plan is personally, because until you become a homeowner or not, you may not need to know about them. California, I give you an example how California Fair Plan in relation to auto insurance. Let's say you have a monthly car note on your auto insurance, $400 or $500, and part of that you have to have auto insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you say, screw it, I don't need no auto insurance. Once you don't pay for your renewal, they send a notice to the lien holder. Your auto financing company, say GMAC, will say, we're gonna add liability insurance on your car to protect us. Usually those are below prime insurance carriers. Like, you got insurance to be on the street legally. That is it. Is that Dante Peak?
Yeah.
He's alive. That's okay. So, you know, we are doing it from home. So you're doing it from home. I'm doing it from the office. So we expect it's called the natural noises around. So no big deal.
Right.
California Fair Plan is taking over all those people that cannot get homeowners insurance.
Right.
I know from experience because a few years ago, they wanted to recruit for management for all their insurance investigations and claims investigations for their fires, right? Somebody to run the whole fire claims department. And I thought about it, never been a manager, but I've managed people. I don't micromanage. I'm quick tempered, you know, whatever the fuck, you know, I expect the best. And when usually we talked about this yesterday, usually when you have a fire loss in the kitchen, you got ceramic tile countertops and you got the white grout in the middle and you got ceramic flooring and you just can't get that shit up. You can't clean that soot.
Mm-hmm.
They asked me, what would you do, Gerald, if you had a kitchen fire? I said, hey, you know what? Typically, I would gut the whole kitchen because it's going to cost more in labor than it would just to remove and replace.
Right. Start fresh.
Right. They said,
Exactly.
They said, no, we would prefer you try to clean first.
Hmm.
So now you want to clean first. Now, if it don't clean, then we're going to pay to remove and replace.
Oh man, spend
Don't
double.
make sense.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
so-
like a big.
So, dude, that's what I'm telling you is like, and I knew when they said that because that job was going to pay like maybe $130, $140 a year. I was like, it ain't worth it. And I was like, wow, I'm going to get a lot of fucking complaints. I'm going to go home sleeping at night, pissed off at Stephanie. I'm going to bring this shit home mentally. We're going to get
Right.
DOI, Department of Insurance complaints. I'm going to get subpoenaed. I'm going to get depositioned.
Mm,
I don't need that shit. You know, because after 130, after taxes, you hope you collected $100,000.
right.
So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that, man.
Yeah.
I love my freedom.
Exactly. I feel that.
They got people coming in from the 313.
So what is covered? Well, I guess you already been over that, but how are they going to like remove all this debris? You know what I mean? And how quickly are people going to get their homes back? You know, because dude, it's so massive.
Well, there's a process. Most contractors out here know. Number one, you know, all these homes in Altadena, Pasadena, Palisades, they were built in the 70s, 60s, 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're talking about what? Asbestos,
Mm.
lead.
Okay.
You remember when the World Trade Center
Right.
went down?
Yeah.
A lot of firemen retired after they did the search and rescue there because they got sick. And you know why they got sick? Because of asbestos, the debris.
Hmm.
So that's going to be the first process, getting it tested for asbestos. Let's say it comes up negative. Go ahead.
Everything. Like every
Everything.
property needs tested.
Every property.
Damn.
But that's the least of your worry. That's a 24-hour turnaround.
okay.
They're taking samples, put them in a sandwich bag, send them off to a lab, come up with the percentage.
Okay.
That's the if it was that easy, everybody at home would be put back real quick.
Right.
But let's say it tests positive. Then you have to get an abatement company. Then you got to do an AQMD notification, air quality something. That's the 14-day period, a grace period. Then before that, Miles, you got to get the number one, you got to get something done that is recession proof, that if any kid thinking about going to college and graduating and having a job guaranteed for life, do this profession. before anything can be done, they have to get engineering plans drawn, structural plans. And you know how much that costs? The average hourly rate for structural engineer, not electrical engineers, which is going to be required, is $200 an hour. That's the going rate. They get almost paid more than a general practicing doctor. And most doctors in general medicine making $150 an hour. Once the plans are drawn, take them to the city with all the other 10, 15 fucking thousand people. When you're trying to get those reviewed, plan checked by the city,
Hmm.
and they have to be reviewed by the engineer who works for the city. So you only got a handful of those.
Wow.
Yeah, this shit gets deep, don't it?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know all about all this stuff.
Yeah. So once the plans are reviewed, and there are gonna be some goddamn corrections. The city ain't gonna rubber stamp these plans. Got to go back, redo, add the corrections, get the code upgrades, Title 24, all this other goofy ass stuff. Resubmit the plans. Now, every time you submit the plans, Mal, the city charges $200 to $300 to review your plans.
Damn.
They're not reviewing them for free.
Of course not.
Then you get plans drawn. Now, the contractor of choice can go down there and simply pull permits. But engineering, Mal, may take 2-3 months, and plan check may take 2 months. They won't even start breaking ground, man, for 6 to 8 months, bro. 6 to 8 months.
Oh my God. And then like the lack of people, because a lot of people want this stuff done ASAP. So what, they're gonna drive prices up? This play and the cleanup. So this is gonna be a long time.
It's gonna be where these contractors are gonna cherry pick. They're gonna cherry pick which jobs they take because they're gonna go for the ones that pay the most.
Exactly.
So they're gonna go to Palisades or Malibu before they go to Altadena and Pasadena.
And there's like, and what's the reason for like wanting to be over there? I mean, everything's burnt down. Why, you know, because you own the property, because you have the land. Is that why?
You will get adequate enough money to rebuild. And there also is a thing called safeguard, and there's a increase in materials and labor costs, because let's say you got the policy 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Where your house now is worth more than that. So they will insure up to 125% of what they initially appraised your home for. So that means if you got a policy for $700,000 and now your house is worth, you know, $800,000 or $900,000, they're gonna go up to 125% of what it costs.
Damn. So damn.
The money is not gonna be the issue.
But like, if you got the policy, your house worth $500,000 when you bought it, and now it's worth $1 million, you're only gonna get $625,000, even though it costs $1 million to basically remake the home.
Well, here's the deal. Again, when you appraise a house, it appraises based on land and the house.
Okay.
Insurance companies don't pay for land.
Right.
They're paying for the building only. So basically, you will be able to actually, the house will be worth more once it's completely built back. But again, it's unlikely that a lot of these insurers, unless they never updated their shit for 20, 30 years, that they're going to be underinsured to build back. Unlikely. They're gonna be able to build within the cost for labor and prevailing wages, unless there's a union gonna be doing all this shit, and union labor rates are way more expensive than prevailing wages, right? If anybody thinking about hiring a union to do construction, don't fucking waste your time. It's gonna be way too much. But that's not gonna be the problem. You know, the problem is people not reading the policy, people not getting insurance. People thinking that they don't need it. I always say, Miles, that insurance, and you have insurance too. You have auto insurance, you have renter's insurance, and you have healthcare insurance. It's the most intangible thing that you could ever buy. You can't smell it, you can't touch it, you can't see it. You got to believe in it. You can't go out there and reach and touch it, but it's a necessity. You may not ever have to use it, but that is one thing that you won't have to worry about when you're sleeping at night. If somebody plows their car through your house, are you taken care of? I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars stashed away waiting if somebody runs into my house on the corner from drinking and driving to pay for damages. I'm not self-insured. A lot of universities like UCLA, they're self-insured because they have a large endowment. So if a building burns down on campus at UCLA, they don't file insurance. They self-insured.
Just paid out of pocket. That's all you mean.
Well, it's a committee that reviews it, and it's almost like an accounts receivable department. They review it,
Right.
They get the quotes, get the bids, pay it. Yeah, but they're self-insured. But UCLA and Cal State are owned by what, Miles? The state.
Oh,
We're making our own money. What's the question right here? Watch this. When the hurricane hits Florida, people with money came in and bought up tons of property. Yeah, that's right, because they bought it below value, and they bought it when people, they were buying it when it wasn't a buyer's market right then. People trying to get the fuck out. Or they know that the money is when people are trying to get out.
right.
They're buying it undervalued. I want to touch on a few things, Miles, before we start taking all these questions, man. And I appreciate you you actually doing this with me, because I can't talk as much. So you have to do the talking for me mentally.
Sure.
One thing I want to mention to people is say, hey, renter's insurance is cheap. Call your auto insurance company. You can get a better deal. They can bundle it also with your auto insurance. Increase your limits of liability on your auto up to $300,000. It's pennies on the dollar. In case you run over somebody and take their leg with them, take their leg off. You're covered up to $300,000. Sleep better at night. Not saying you're gonna do it, okay? But renter's insurance also pays for living expense. See, I can deal with the fact that all my Jabot jeans and my Gap jeans, and now my lemon is it called lemon? Lululemon. My Lululemon pants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can deal with the fact that those things burnt up, but I don't want to have to deal with the fact of where I'm going to stay,
Right.
where my dog's going to be, where me and Steph are going to sleep at. I can deal with that, right? Other thing is, people, if you're having a loss, stay away from these two people, because they're going to slow your shit down where you're going to need a hot tub time machine. Public adjusters get paid when you get paid, and their name is listed on the fucking check.
Damn.
So they're in control of the money.
They pay you.
Yeah, they give you a check in exchange,
Yeah. That's
because
big.
they're going to get paid 10% on everything. So they're really not in it for you. But they slow the claim process down to like from 70 miles an hour to like 15, 20 miles an hour. So that means that what would have took 6 months would take over a year,
Damn.
because they're steadily bringing in their own people to give these inflated correction. I'm going to say this word, these embellished estimates, right? And it kind of sometimes walks on a fine line of fraud.
Right.
When you're throwing up numbers that are totally embellished, and then when I check you on it, oh, that was an error. I didn't mean to put in 10 commodes in one bathroom. right? And lawyers the same way. There are no fun. They slow this shit down as if it was a auto loss where you got injured. So, and you have control. You have no control over the finances.
Horrible.
Here's another thing. Ask your auto insurance company for a bundled deal. Right? Hey man, renter's insurance is cheap. Now, this is important here. So I'm gonna go to this right here, where we talk about business insurance. This one right here. People, this is important. This stands for me too. If you guys are self-employed, whether you're working from your house or at an office with a warehouse, get business insurance. You don't have to have a business license to get business insurance. Let me tell you how important it is. Let's say this place burns down. And let's say for numbers only, I make 20 to 30 grand a month. For numbers only. I wish, but let's say for numbers only, I make 20 grand a month for my business. But this place burns down. Business insurance pays for your loss of business income. You can't lose. And guess what? Guess what else it pays for? Let's say this place burned down or it gets flooded and you have all these dehumidifiers and these blowers, these computers, these stair machine, the refrigerator, these hard drives. Guess what business insurance pays for? It pays for those. It's called BPP, business personal property. I like that sound.
That sounds cool.
You know how much I pay for business insurance annually? Just guess. Just guess, Miles.
I dude, honestly, I don't really know at all. I don't have a ballpark. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe a few grand.
No.
Lower. Really?
Lower.
Oh, more? Oh, lower?
Lower. I'm gonna be like Price is Right.
800. All right, 800.
850.
Okay. For what you got going on, that's pretty. I mean, that shit's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap.
What?
Yeah,
and guess what? It's a write-off.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
It's a write-off. Also, people, because this is another important thing to have here, and this is pretty relatively cheap as well. Umbrella insurance. People are like, what is that? What is that? All right, so let me tell you what it is. People like Kareem and all my guys, they know when you have certain amount of assets, like I do, or like I wish I did, you don't want your shit taken away from you if something happens badly.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you what umbrella insurance did for a famous guy 30 years ago. You remember this guy named Orenthal James Simpson? You remember him?
No.
Well, they called him OJ. You remember OJ?
Oh, okay, yeah, of course. You're funny.
You remember he won the criminal case, right? But he lost the civil case.
Oh.
Out of Santa Monica. Okay. What do you think his lawyer fees were for that case?
Oh my God, they were probably massive, dude.
About almost $1 million. Johnny Cochran's bill was almost 3 or 4 million. That's why OJ had nothing after that. Johnny took it all. But umbrella insurance pays for OJ's legal fees. So let's say Miles,
because it's a business or what?
It's a civil case. All civil cases. And most civil cases, depending on the peril, most civil cases, like that was a wrongful death suit. Most civil cases are covered under your umbrella. So let's say, go ahead.
What has to be lost?
Um,
Still covered?
well, you have to have suffered some kind of damages to bring a civil suit towards anybody, whether they're monetary or not. In this case, Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown lost their life. They thought OJ was responsible. When you're in civil court, you don't need evidence beyond a shadow of a doubt. All you need is preponderance of evidence. It's different. So, people, this is how easy umbrella insurance is. So, right now, you probably, if you check your auto insurance miles, you probably got $100,000 in liability, maybe, right? That's pretty good. That's pretty standard.
I can check it, but yeah, you're probably right. I don't.
But then, in order to get umbrella, you have to increase the liability to 300, and changing it from 100 to 300 is no more than probably an extra $5, right? So, umbrella insurance is an extra $1 million coverage beyond the 300. So, let's say you have an accident or one of your rental properties, somebody butts their fucking head, and they're suing you because the handrails when you're going up the stairs came off, but their medical bills and their rehab is $350. Well, they've already exhausted the 300. So anything over 300, umbrella insurance pays for liability issues up to $1 million, right? So let's say you go out and have an accident with somebody, you rear end somebody, and somebody dies, or whatever the case may be. Your umbrella insurance pays additional $1 million of liability coverage. So it's having extra coverage. People, that shit is cheap.
Yeah.
Guess how cheap it is, Miles? Let's guess some numbers again.
Okay, let's do 450.
Lower.
Oh, it's 300.
358, 385 with Geico. You see how cheap this shit is? And people, listen, I'm talking to you guys because I care. I'm in the industry. I've been on both sides of it. I do fire inspections, major losses, high profile losses. The Ghost Ship. Google that, Mal. The Ghost Ship in Oakland. I did that inspection. The Ghost Ship in Oakland. Over 30-some people died.
Oh, yeah, I see. 2016.
Yeah, I did that loss. The guy didn't have insurance. He had a party in a warehouse that was made for repair work. He was having parties, artwork, gallery shows, people living in there, electrical fire, one egress. And you got 40, 50, maybe 100 people trying to rush out of there when that smoke start hitting. Ain't gonna happen.
Damn.
So when I'm telling you people this shit, I'm telling you this from facts. It's hella cheap. Hella cheap. Let me see what else I got to build. Because I got questions. People got questions, man. You know, and you got questions, Miles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I gave you the ones that I had. You know what I mean? The hard hitting ones, and you answered them, and it's definitely something to think about. You know, something to think about and take action on too.
Yeah, yeah.
For real.
What's this right here? When the hurricanes hit, yeah, we saw that one. What's this one? D How 2. Can you read that, Miles? Because you have
sending out prayer to everyone affected by the California fires. I had no idea where all the displaced people would live. Condolences to all the families who lost a loved one.
Damn.
That's right, man.
Oh my God, here we go. You see that?
Yeah.
Oh snap, it's Hyphy Whitey.
Oh yeah.
Great topic. Really makes you think about self-sustainability. Yes.
That's right.
Oh, this is my girl Myra. She's watching me. They're watching me in Mississippi, man. Am I a
Hell yeah.
celebrity in Mississippi? Nah. See, win-win situation. Yes. My girl Jules. This is critical information. Yeah. Yeah, man. You know what's funny, man? Not funny. That's the wrong choice of words. Is health insurance, man. How expensive that shit is.
Mm-hmm. This shit seems like pennies compared to health insurance. My health insurance.
It's crazy because I think health insurance is the biggest ripoff.
Yeah.
You know, I have health insurance, but my deductible is so high, I might as well have a missing limb.
Yeah, dude. Anything that makes it worth the payout, it's like it's got to be like a catastrophe. Other than that, just pay for it.
Facts. I was like, I got to start calling friends who are doctors. Say, hey, man, this is what the fuck's going on, man.
Exactly. You got to get like major surgeries or broken arms. You know what I mean? Other than that, like just go to the doctor and pay it out of pocket because you're spending that on the deductible and the premium. So it's like, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a story about this one. But the question to ask JB's answer. Call your auto insurance. I get mine through Geico. I've been with Geico 31 years. They open 24 hours a day. So Geico has been good to me. They'll probably be good to you.
I had them.
You had them.
I had them. Yeah, I had them. And then I wrecked my McLaren. And then they were going to raise my rates astronomically. So
you bailed and went where?
Tesla insurance, because I got Tesla.
Is it better?
They give me a good rate. Oh yeah, dude. People were like gonna charge me like $600 or $700 a month, and I think it's like $240 for me right now. For me and my girl to drive it.
But are they lowering the limits? Like
it's like the $100,000 per person, $300,000 like liability. 500K property damage, I think. I mean, 50K property. I just looked at it. It's like the standard limits.
Yeah.
You know, what people usually pay.
But the people, the reason behind this one today is because me and Miles are fortunate enough to sit behind a computer and talk about it. And some people who are really experiencing it that are going through it, and they're doing these, and I have no problem with it. So I want to put that out there, but they're doing these GoFundMes.
Right.
I have no problem with GoFundMes, but that's not going to get you back to where you were. I don't know the process of those to get cashed out, or I don't know, but I mean, it saddens me when we have people of middle age, and I'm a middle age guy, and we're having to start all over again. I mean, Miles, you're getting up there in age too, and we can't do too many rewinds, redos. You know. And we have to really watch the L's that we take, right?
Hell yeah.
Because like look at Dante. He wants to be with Daddy.
Dude, he's losing his shit.
So like with me and you, we are responsible for people. They depend on us. And whether we like getting up in the morning or not, we have to take it to the max. And one thing about me and you and most men who have responsibilities outside of their own self is that we have to be conscious about that whatever we do affects others and it changes their life drastically. And if you can be insured enough on every aspect, you'll be taken care of. I have a couple of friends, Miles, and this is no bullshit, man, that they've had a couple of car accidents, and a few of them. And man, they had, I mean, there's a thing, people doesn't, here's another hack. How you say this is a hack, Miles? You want to hear this hack?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay. So let's say, Miles, you have an auto accident. And I'm only telling you this hack because it happened to me. I used to have a 2007 Range Rover, and I bought it in 2010 or 11. And I ain't had that motherfucker no more than about a week. I'm at a light, and a guy rear ends the fuck out of me where I look on my left side and I see his wheels doing a Dukes of Hazzard all along my fucking Range Rover. So I claim injuries. Right? That's my right. You have a thing called uninsured motorists, and you also have a thing called underinsured motorists. My underinsured motorist was like $10,000 or $15,000. Right? If it was 50,000, I would have got paid 50,000 for this clucks ass dude to hit me and for me to get paid out. So look it up, people. It's called underinsured motorists on your policy. It protects you. It gives you more coverage for these clowns out here who have the bare state minimal coverage, which is, I think California says 15, right? Yeah, it's some
15?
broke shit.
Oh,
yeah.
Uninsured motorist?
Yeah, you have to the limit, the minimum amount that a car must have to be on the road to California. You got to have at least 20 grand or 15 grand of liability insurance, right? But if somebody hits you and they only have 15 grand worth of liability, you want to look at your insurance policy, your homeowners, not your homeowners, your auto, for underinsured motorists.
Yeah, I got that. Uninsured, underinsured motorist bodily injury. 100K per person, 300,000 per accident.
Miles. You ready, boy?
Yeah, that's why I thought this policy was fine.
It's dope. It pays to be part of Tesla's family. I'm surprised
Property
you ain't
damage
got
liability is 50K, and then the body injury is 100K per person, 300K per accident.
Per aggregate.
100K per person, then 300 per accident. So that's the one you said you could increase it to 300K per person, right? Under the umbrella.
Yeah, under umbrella, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And hold on for a minute. These people, I mean, come on, girls. I mean, I'm on YouTube and Facebook. Come on, I'm everywhere. I went live on my public personal account. So people can, friends and family can listen. I mean, come on, baby.
She said, your friend Myra said, unfortunately, I am familiar, got hit by someone who had direct general minimal insurance. That's the general.
What? Undercut general now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Damn.
Those are the insurance companies you don't want to fuck with. Those are people who have problems in their driving history.
Of course. I got into an accident. I was driving for Lyft. I don't know if I ever told you this. And I was driving with a passenger, and I was going through a light, and a lady on the opposite side was taking a left under a yield green, and she took the left too soon. I couldn't stop the car in time, and I rammed into the back of her car as it was trying to complete the left, and it totaled the front of my car. And she didn't speak any English. This is in California too, and she had some auto insurance that went out of business during the deal. Like I got a lawyer, and he called them and he checked on it, and he's like, oh yeah, this company said that they're going out of business in 3 months. It was some bunk insurance. And I don't know if she was an illegal immigrant or not, because she didn't like have a driver's license and stuff. Like, she was extremely sketchy, didn't speak any English. And I was like, I was worried like I wasn't going to get covered or something, but like I didn't have to pay for it. But it did completely ruin my auxiliary source of income that I was using driving the lift. You know what I mean? I was driving Lyft, shooting videos, doing art and stuff, doing anything I could to make it. And it just it ruined a lot of things for me. So those people with those bunk insurances, man, like they're doing nobody a favor. You know what I mean? Like they're doing themselves to get by, but they're literally like ruining other people's lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you got to remember, they're getting the basic insurance to be legally on the road.
Exactly.
That is it. And that's why you have to be like my brother Greg was. Hey man, you got to meet my twin brother. He came up here a couple days ago.
I know. I
ain't seen him in 5 months. How he would say it. He said, "You got to be chipped." Hold on. You got to be chipped up. You got to be chipped up.
No, that's true.
You got to be chipped up, bro. So underinsured, get it. Umbrella, raise your limits to 300,000 of liability. Get the umbrella shit. Trust me, you may not ever have to use it, but guess what? When you do, and there's a lawyer involved, guess what? Legal fees are paid for by Geico. They hire their attorneys. Miles, I'm telling you, man, the most important thing that I've been a homeowner since 2004, December 2004. Before that, I was a faithful renter. I mean, I was paying my shit every 22 days. But I always had renter's insurance. Never had to use it.
Thank God.
And I think that I was talking to a friend of mine today. I'm not gonna put her ass out there because I just got on her ass about an hour before I got on here. And she said, "Well, I talked to my agent about renter's insurance years ago, and he said that water damage is not covered." So you telling me if your apartment building you live in floods because the building is owned by the owner, pipes break, you telling me your shit ain't covered?
Right.
That's what he said to me. First of all, agents are not licensed adjusters. They're only licensed to sell insurance. Number one. Number two is water, fire, theft, vandalism are standards. And also, people, let's say you got 30 grand in the house stashed away. Everybody got some money stashed away. And depending on how much, guess what? That money burns up. You're only going to get $1,000 limit. They don't pay for your burnt cash. Let's say you have some gold bullions. You better get that shit put on a goddamn a floater. That means you have to get it appraised and tell them you own it, and then they would charge you to have that floater. Like Stephanie's ring has a floater on it, the diamond and everything, right? So in case something happens, her ring is covered. Because basic jury policies, like your policy right now, unless you put it on a floater, the jury policy has a bare minimum of $1,500 at best. And you got a lot of expensive electronics, Miles. So, and also this is very important, people. Most people don't keep receipts on how much stuff they bought. I don't keep receipts. But when you file a claim, say you had a water loss or fire loss, make a video of all your stuff in your home for the one time. Just take a video.
Doing it all the time.
Yeah, take a video.
I got so much video of all the shit I got.
Yeah, that's all. Because see, the burden of proof lies on the insured to prove their claim. Insurance company ain't proving shit for you. You got to prove to us that we give you this us to give you this money. So take videos, photos while you're standing by the tree with the gifts under there, unwrapped or whatever. That's all proof. If a adjuster tell you they want receipts, fuck them. Ain't nobody keeping receipts of shit 10, 12 years old.
Exactly. I got a closet full of receipts. I hate it.
Yeah, so hold on for me. What did Jewel say? What is it? You know, you got a better voice.
I can attest to having to start over after my accident, still paying for treatment on injuries, and my brand new car at the time was totaled. That's when I found out the dealership had not included Gap.
Okay, so now JB, let me tell you about Gap. I don't know what you feel about it, Miles. Gap
God,
is full of shit.
I think it's full of shit too.
It's full of shit because
Yeah.
the problem is people buy the cars depreciate in value so fast that it depreciate faster than what you owe in the car, right? I
And
don't
you
fuck
pay
with-
on the Gap first. You
Yeah,
pay
I
on
don't
those
fuck-
old policies. Don't go towards the principal. They all go on interest and those
Yeah.
insurance fees on top.
yeah,
You get fucked.
I don't fuck with Gap. You know, if I wreck my shit and I got a balance on it, they're gonna have to work with me on the goddamn balance. Fuck that,
Yeah, exactly.
you know.
Yeah, it's just a bad dude. Cars are just, bro. I don't even want to get into it. I know you got multiple cars. I don't give a fuck about a car, bro. Fuck a car. I had all of them. I don't give a fuck about a car.
You've had some very exotic ones too.
I've had some amazing cars.
Was
and
it McLaren?
It's all a bunch of bullshit. I don't care.
That McLaren was dope, wasn't it?
It was all dope,
Yeah.
but fuck it. You got to have deep pockets to be fucking with cars, bro.
Yeah. That's why most of mine stay parked.
Yeah, it's fine. And just if you want the top of the line cars, like you want exotic cars, do you want?
Yeah.
We're not talking Scat Packs, bro. We're talking Hellcats. You know what I mean? Like
That's the top of the line of
like,
the Dodge.
bro. It's like, okay, you got a Challenger. Okay, what do you have? What kind of Challenger? It's like once you get the top of the line of whatever model of car you have, like it could even be anything from a Nissan or Toyota or anything. Once you step into the top of the line lane, not Scat Pack, but you step in the Hellcats, we're talking higher insurance. You're talking about the brand name. Everything just goes up another $20,000, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. It just steps up to another level. It's like, oh, it's a Scat Pack. Yeah, Scat Pack for what? 40,000? Bro, you're not getting a Hellcat for like less than 90. Or when I was in it, it's like you're not getting a Hellcat less than 100,000. Like Scat Pack, you're not even in the conversation. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a bunch of bullshit to me. Even if you just get a regular car like Tesla, the Tesla I got, bro, I bought that thing at maybe like $60K. Bro, them bitches are $30,000 new right now.
Wow. What do you think of the Cyber trucks, man? The Cyber Beasts.
It's all a scam. I don't care about none of it, bro. I'm pissed. You know what I mean? Like at myself for getting in this game like that. You know what I mean? So it's like the guys selling the cars are shady. You know what I mean? They're approving loans that they shouldn't approve. You know, the people are going in, they have wants and desires like myself, and they'll do anything to get them. You know, so it's like it's all a bad idea, in my opinion. Just to like have a car, to flaunt it, to you know what I mean? From my perspective. And I'm just being genuine and honest about it. There's a lot of things that aren't intelligent about it. And I've learned my lesson.
Well, I feel you on that one. I don't have any of those high performance cars like, you know, Bugattis, McLarens, or you know, I got a Rivian, but I did it smart, Miles. So this is what I did. Because it has to make sense for me. It has to be practical. So I had a Dodge Durango SRT, just the SRT Durango, and I bought it in 2021. I pulled some money out of a rental property, and they paid off the balance. So I had a pink slip on it, right? This is before the car hikes, prices went up. I had less than 11,000 miles in the fucking car. That's my problem, man. I have cars and I don't drive them, and I drive that Prius like it's a goddamn Rolls Royce.
I know. I feel you, dude. It's
fucking
smart.
down the
Honestly, it's smart.
So when I got through, first of all, people, buying cars in California is a fucking scam too. You better buy your shit out of state. That's where it's cheaper. So I saw a Rivian in Oregon. He wanted 92 at first. It's like, man, I ain't never bought a car $100,000, man.
Right.
It's fucking crazy for me, right?
Hey,
So no,
yeah.
man, I'm cool. I got an email notification a week later saying that car you was looking at is just some kind of automated system from their website when they saw I logged in reviewing it. It went down to 88,000. I said, oh, now we thinking. I said, but I got to sell one car to get one. So this is when during the car hike, I took that fucking Durango down to motherfucking one of those dealerships. They gave me $67,000 for it.
That's about right.
That next day, I took that money and I used that money as the down payment, even though I was approved through Wells Fargo for the $90,000.
Yeah.
I took that 67 and I put the whole balance on that car. Now my balance is less than 30 grand. I made it make sense.
Right. Exactly.
So it's one of those things where, you know, a necessity versus a want, but it has to be practical. I can't stress about car notes.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, listen, we've been on this thing an hour. Dante Peaks is wanting his daddy. I got to get back to doing whatever I'm doing. I got to see you Wednesday to get this thing dialed in so we can.
Wednesday, it looks great and sounds good though. So you're good.
I appreciate it.
I'll dial you in.
And everybody, Miles is my videographer. He don't do freelance, so nothing for free. But you guys know that he does all of my content. You can tell the difference when I'm doing some shit with a cell phone versus when he's doing it with his Sony camera. If you need him for anything, content creations, marketing to improve your social media appearance or being visual, this guy is not only a Purdue graduate. I'm more proud of that than you, I think. God damn it. He's a Purdue grad. Yeah,
I'm like, whatever.
Purdue listen, dude, any degree right now to stay focused to do something for 4 years straight and get it done, that's impressive.
That is true. That is true. Yep.
So he's available for consultation, and he's made a lot of people a lot of money. So proof is in the pudding. I'll give you his information in the bio when this video posts up. But anyway, as always, Miles, thanks for being my first time being my guest while we weren't running a practice run here.
Yeah, thank you. It was great.
All right. Until next time, people, stay vigilant, but be responsible.
Yes, sir.